Hello, everyone. Welcome to Word 365. I'm your host, Romulus. Listen, yesterday we did a segment, and for those who joined in or watched, it was Can You Identify? So we spoke about some of the disciples that, hung around Jesus. We mentioned John, and we also mentioned there Peter. So I made a comparisons as far as who do you associate or who do you identify yourself with, or do you know some individuals out there who have some type of comparisons to some of the disciples that hung around Jesus? You, whether you're a Christian or not, you still have a company of people who hang around you. And I wanted to talk about Luke, and it will be brief. I try to make it as brief as possible. But Luke, he was a he was a doctor, or he was a physician, and he was very well spoken. He was a man of a prominent position, if you will, highly educated, and unlike the others, he was a non-Jew. He was Greek or something of that nature. He was from a place called Antioch. However, he was in the company of some of the apostles, and I believe I wrote some of it down here, like Paul. He took down information on some of the people who were eyewitnesses to Yeshua, Jesus. So he was in the mix, he was in the know, and not to mention he was a doctor. So he had to ask himself, like, wow, here's the Messiah on, healing people, and here I gotta give them this Tylenol and some ibuprofen. Here, this man just speaking the word, and his disciples are too. So it's very, cool, the fact that this outsider, if you will, who who was around some of the apostles, with all of his knowledge and his education, where he came up and how he was raised, he was drawn to the fact of this Messiah. And believe you me, I guarantee you, he heard about all of the healings. You know how you're watching TV, and then you get that infomercial, and the dude says, "Oh yeah, I was over there, and I was suffering with this ailment, and all of a sudden I took this remedy and it worked. I am not an actor. I am telling you the truth." And some of us who are watching the infomercial, we're like on a 50-50. You know what I mean? The only people that could believe that individual that's on TV are those that know that individual. Everybody else is left to guess on the 50-50 scale. I say that to say this. Do you remember the lady that was blood that had the blood disease? For those who don't know, in the Bible, there was a lady who had a blood ailment. She just had an ailment, and she said to herself, if I could just touch the hem of his garment, his robe, you know what I mean, I'll be healed. And she was able to do it. Now we can go deeper in that, but I just want to get to where I'm at with where we're at with this point. So if she's out telling this story about her experience with Jesus, and this is just word of mouth, some people are going to be like, and some people are going to be like, you know what? Yeah, no, I know who this girl is, because I remember she used to have to, she didn't come out. She was always unclean, and we didn't want her too much around. So yeah, man, she's healed. She's healed. There's no hocus pocus on this. So he was the one that was writing down all the information. And with him being a doctor, it had to be astonishing to him, to the point where everything he learned was out the window, because he wanted to know more about this Jesus. He wanted to know more about this medicine. Hey, you're telling me that I can heal someone just by saying, and you're healed in the name of Jesus Christ, and the faith alone is going to do that, and just by us saying the name. I want to know more about this. Let me know. And on his journey, he became, I don't know, but that just goes to show you 100% of the people, 100% of people of the general population, if they ever read this word, I guarantee you, they're going to give their life over to Dad. That's why sometimes some places they can have this book in their house, at least the New Testament. And my thing is, why would you keep somebody away from their father? If and that's another thing in itself. But anyhow, I would want to know. I would want to know more. So I want to talk about Mark. Join me next time or tomorrow. We're going to talk about Mark. Mark's a pretty cool dude. But I know a few doctors out there. And I respect a doctor's position. But I wholeheartedly want to know what is it like for a doctor who praises the Lord. What do you do when you go and you have to do surgery? Or what do you do when you got to go draw blood? What is your experience like with other patients being a servant of the Lord? Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thank you for chilling with me. Love all of you. Stay blessed. Stay encouraged. Take care.